Let me just say this: that the reason why, because Bilal is probably the safest. He's the safest black person or black Sahaba that you can bring up without these darkies trying to feel uppity. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There is a caste system in Islam. I mean, I'm not in Islam, but amongst the Muslims, I should say.
Amongst the Muslims,
there is a caste system, whether you realize it or not. But Bilal is safe. I mean, but we actually have. It's very clear. Like I said, we mentioned Adam alayhi salam, Musa alayhi salam, Isa alayhi salam, Sulaiman. There's lots of people who were giants that, you know, Allah talks about Musa alayhi salam more than anyone else in Qur'an. Yep. You know, and so, but you never hear them bringing that up, very rarely. And, you know, we give Omar Suleiman credit. I know we kind of bang on him a little bit, but we give him credit. He did have a video back whenever I used to actually listen to stuff that he said, but he did have a video where he talked about lots of the prophets who were like, it's very clear that they were dark skinned and they were black and they were from Africa and all that stuff. Yeah. But they don't really like, people don't really like to mention that because it shows a certain status.
Yeah.
And like I said, a lot of these people, they come from even they're out of countries, they're colonized and they were colonized and educated by the British. And that white, bright is right and is better than dark. Anything dark is better is implemented in how they were taught, how they were raised in the culture. It was infused into the culture. So for you to mention Musa alayhi salam, being black, it's like, oh, Musa, who was that? Oh, that was one of the messengers. Every time you hear Musa in the Quran, have you heard of Moses? Yeah, that was a guy whose skin was just like yours. This Negro might try to not only become Muslim, but be uppity. Think he might run the masjid or something like that. Mm-hmm. Keep him down. We like to keep the status a certain way. So that we mentioned Bilal. What did Bilal do? He was a slave that was freed by an Arab that was being tortured by other Arabs, people who were above him. And he was freed. And then Bilal actually, even though he was freed, he loved Abu Bakr so much that he stayed loyal to him. So the story of Bilal, it's not anything negative against Bilal, but it's safe. Bilal is safe for you to model yourself after. You became Muslim. Basically, we freed you, nigga. Now, be like him. Stay in line and kind of just, you know.
Do exactly what you need to do.
Yeah. You know, he's safe. And so, like I said, there's a lot more to it. I don't want to go on too much of a rate, but that's what it is.
No, it's 100% true. And just for black people to like know their history, know things that happen. Like if the Arabs told you other stories that involve black people with their history and Islam, you'd probably be pissed off. There was a whole Zenji revolt during the time of the Abbasids where they had a whole like just incropping of black slaves from Africa. They had just in terrible conditions, and they revolted, and they had their own like caliphate started after that. All right. Tariq ibn Ziyad, who was a dark-skinned Moorish man who conquered Spain for the Muslims, right? You know what the Umayyad did to him? You are dishonored, you little black slave. so don't bring your ass back here, all right? So, as Mark mentioned, Bilal is very safe, all right? It's we can just stroke that. Like here, it's a gift for you. Here, take it, leave us alone, all right? No more for you, all right? That's all you need, all right? We already gave you one, all right? Back to us, because every other Sahaba, all right, guess what, all right? Khalid, Umar, Abu Bakr, they're all us.
I'll just give you a Sahaba real quick. I'll give you a Sahaba with the exact same social or family dynamic as Bilal, and that is Osama bin Zayd. Mm-hmm. His mother was African. His father was Arab.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was put in charge of the army of all the Sahaba, including Umar, Abu Bakr, and various others. The best of the best. He was put in charge by Rasulullah. You really don't. You have to search. Besides a few very famous hadith in which he was the one who killed the kafir who they were battling against. Who right when he had his sword over him, he said, "Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah." He tried to be. He was the one. That's Osama bin Zayd, and Osama bin Zayd is the one who when the lady stole and they had to cut her hand, they sent him because of how much Rasulullah loved him to try to ask if maybe be so lenient. These are two famous hadiths. Even if Fatima stole it, he would cut her hand. He's a player in this hadith. And those are the two things. But other than that, you really rarely hear him mentioned outside of the seerah when he was put in charge of the army. But if he was put in charge of the army, he was one of those. He was that guy. He was at 17 years old, by the way. Yep. So he was a teenager and was a serious role model to look after. I'm not saying that he's better than Bilal. I'm just saying there's more than Bilal. But these people are not safe for you to be looking up to and trying to be like. Let's mention Bilal. Keep those people in that type of, environment, in situation, because we don't want you thinking too much beyond be happy to be here.
Then also, this is what kind of gets on my nerves too, right?